coming, but I know. 'Cause it means destruction of this life.
Ever hear a song from the 60s that hits so hard it feels like it was written today? Why do some old protest songs still feel more honest than anything on the news? And how did these artists with nothing but a guitar or piano speak louder than politicians ever could? These songs weren't just music, they were a movement. Let's dig into 10 protest anthems from the 1960s that haven't lost a single ounce of power. Because the truth they told, we're still living it. Let's face it, the 1960s didn't just happen, they erupted. Civil rights marches, Vietnam protests, assassinations on the evening news, and through it all, the one thing that kept us grounded? The music. These weren't just catchy tunes. These were weapons of truth, shields of hope, cries for help. And the reason they still resonate today? Because we're still grappling with so many of the same battles. Racial injustice, senseless war, inequality, corruption. Some songs captured the rage. Some captured the grief, some whispered of hope. Let's walk through 10 of the most unforgettable protest songs from the 60s. Songs that hit harder now than ever before. Barring 10. Masters of War, Bob Dylan, 1963.
You that build all the bombs.
You fasten all the triggers, for the others to fire. Talk about a direct shot. Dylan didn't aim at soldiers. He went after the men behind the curtain, the ones making money while others bled.
A world war can be won.
Released during the Cold War, this song stripped away all the fake patriotism and exposed the greed and destruction behind the scenes. And Dylan, he didn't shout, he seethed. His words were cold, precise, and furious. You could argue the same names Dylan left unspoken back then still wear suits and sign defense contracts today. And whether you saw him as brave or reckless, one thing's clear, he wasn't wrong. 9. Eve of Destruction, Barry Maguire, 1965. Hate your next-door neighbor, but don't forget to say grace. Now, here's a song that doesn't tiptoe around anything. Barry Maguire practically shouted at the world. War, civil rights, hypocrisy, political incompetence. It was all there.
Why don't you understand what I'm trying to say?
His voice sounded like sandpaper soaked in gasoline. Angry, worn out, done. The song was banned by some radio stations, called too depressing by critics. But guess what? It hit #1 anyway because people weren't looking for sugar-coated pop. They wanted something that got it, that told the truth, even if it hurt. And all these decades later, doesn't it still feel like we're standing on that same eve? 8. Fortunate Son, Creedence Clearwater Revival, 1969. Some folks are born silver spoon in hand. Let's be honest, this one still rocks. But beneath that swampy guitar and rebellious swagger was something serious.
It ain't me. It ain't me.
The anger of being left behind. Fogerty wasn't whining. He was exposing how the rich got to skip out on war while the working class paid in blood. It hit a nerve in 1969, and it still hits today when privilege often decides who faces consequences and who gets to walk away. Not just a protest song, a battle cry. And you can bet it's still blasting from speakers during modern-day rallies, marches, and maybe even your car. 7. Mississippi Goddam, Nina Simone, 1964.
Alabama's got me so upset.
This is a show tune, but the show hasn't been written for it yet. That's how Nina Simone introduced this firestorm of a song on stage. Written after the murder of Medgar Evers and the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing, Nina didn't hold back.
Tennessee made me lose my rest.
She named names. She called out states. She dared the audience to look away. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't polite. It was grief, rage, and a black womanhood on fire. Many stations banned it, but black audiences heard it loud and clear. Finally, someone said it plain. And if you listen to the lyrics today, they still slap you in the chest like a brick. 6th, I Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Die Rag, Country Joe and the Fish, 1967.
What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn.
And it's 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for? Now this one's tricky. It's catchy, it's goofy, but underneath the humor, pure horror.
The next stop is Vietnam.
Country Joe turned the Vietnam War into a carnival of absurdity. The song's bounce made it easier to swallow, until you realized what you were singing. Draft cards, body bags, lies from leaders. Woodstock erupted when this was performed. Everyone knew the joke wasn't funny, it was deadly. And all these years later, when you hear political doublespeak or cheerleader-style war drums beating, this song still mocks the madness. 5. Only a Pawn in Their Game, Bob Dylan, 1964.
Effing a identified the trigger to his name.
He's taught in his school from the start by the rule that the laws are with him to protect his white skin. Dylan again, but this time it's personal. Written after the assassination of Medgar Evers, the song blames not just the killer, but the system that raised him.
A handle hid out in the dark.
Dylan was barely in his 20s and already dissecting racism not as simple hatred, but as deliberate manipulation by those in power. That was bold then. It's bold now, because these days the divide and conquer tactic still works all too well. Poor against poor, neighbor against neighbor, all while the real puppeteers get away clean. Sound familiar? Let's hit pause for a second. Did any of these songs take you right back? Maybe to a protest, a vinyl record on the turntable, or even a fight at the dinner table? Drop your memory down in the comments. We love hearing what you remember, because these songs weren't just hits, they were part of your life. And if this walk down memory lane stirred something in you, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. All right, back to the countdown. 4. War. Edwin Starr, 1969. War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Starr's performance wasn't subtle. It was a sonic punch to the gut. He screamed, he wailed, he demanded attention. Originally recorded by The Temptations, Motown thought it was too controversial, so Edwin Starr, a relative unknown, stepped up and owned it, and it exploded. From soldiers returning home to mothers watching the news with tears in their eyes, everyone felt this track. It was funky, furious, and unforgettable. And honestly, when's the last time anyone made war sound this ridiculous? 3. What's Going On? Marvin Gaye, 1969.
Punish me with brutality.
Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. Unlike others on this list, Marvin didn't yell. He pleaded, inspired by his brother's stories from Vietnam and the police brutality he witnessed firsthand. Marvin crafted a protest song wrapped in silk. It was elegant, painful, gorgeous. Berry Gordy didn't even want to release it. Too political, he said, but Marvin pushed, and thank God he did. Today, What's Going On still plays like a question we can't answer. The lyrics speak to any era, any city, any person trying to make sense of senseless violence. 2. Blowin' in the Wind, Bob Dylan, 1963.
How many years must a mountain exist?
Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? You knew this one was coming. Before it became a campfire classic, this was a song that made grown men cry and some politicians squirm. It didn't accuse, it questioned. And in those questions was all the truth people were afraid to face. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called it a powerful anthem for the movement. Peter, Paul, and Mary took it mainstream. But it was Dylan's raw phrasing that gave it weight. It was like he wasn't singing at you, he was just wondering and hoping someone had an answer. 60 years later, still no clear answers. Still blowing in the wind. 1. A change is gonna come. Sam Cooke, 1964.
A long time coming, but I know.
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. And finally, the crown jewel. Sam Cooke didn't set out to be a protest singer. He was a soul crooner, a star, smooth as velvet. But after being turned away from a hotel for being black and hearing Dylan's boldness, he sat down and wrote a masterpiece. It wasn't a scream, it was a prayer. Released after his tragic death, the song became a spiritual rallying cry for civil rights, sung through pain, hope, and tears. And here's the kicker. It still gives goosebumps. Because in a world that often feels stuck, that hope for change is still the heartbeat. Protest songs from the 1960s didn't just call out injustice, they documented it. They challenged it. They turned heartbreak into harmony. And the fact that so many still feel relevant, that's not nostalgia. That's a reminder. These songs weren't written to be oldies. They were written to wake us up. So maybe give one of them another listen tonight. Not just for the music, but for the message. And hey, if we missed your favorite, let us know below. This conversation isn't over, it's still playing. Until next time, keep remembering, keep listening, and keep questioning. Because protest never really goes out of style.